Just look at it. It's beautiful, isn't it? We're in Paris today, and this is our last day, unfortunately, but we thought we would do a little bit of thrifting as we've been doing every single day, and I thought I would take you guys along with me. It's just going to be really nice to be able to keep all of these things as a memory for my stay here. So I guess let's go thrifting in Paris. Montmartre, known for its beautiful cobblestone streets and home of Le Sacré-Cœur, also happens to hold some of the best curated vintage shops I've ever been to. This is where we spend most of our days exploring and somehow still barely touch the surface of all there is to do. But I was thankfully shown around by some of my lovely subscribers, one of which happens to live here. She told me she tries her best not to spend all her cash, and I believe her. The first shop we entered is called Buy Flowers. This one felt like a small hole in the wall compared to the other shops we visited, but it was crammed with gorgeous vintage clothing, many of which seemed to be from the 70s/80s era with bits of other decades hung in between, which is one of those places that's bound to have a piece especially made for your vintage loving soul, or maybe as a gift for somebody that you love. They were some of the most unique knitwear textiles that I've ever seen. Oh, and when you're there, make sure to check the back because they do have a teeny little fitting room and a mirror outside to check yourself out, which I think some of the thrift stores that I went to didn't. I'm convinced the second vintage shop doesn't have a name. Correct me if I'm wrong. However, this one is also definitely worth a look around. It's probably 3 times bigger than that last shop, so it definitely felt a lot less cramped. And again, great vintage. I found tons of good denim pieces here along with blouses, dresses for all occasions, just beautiful relics of the past. Looking back at this vlog makes me realize just how many other pieces I missed out on that day, but it's okay. I'm promising myself that I owe Paris a second visit very soon. I found this slouchy green sweater while I was there, and sadly it had a hole in it, but again, most of the pieces were in great condition. It's just something you have to watch out for. Hats. They had so many here. I didn't get one, but one of my subscribers did find this gorgeous kimono that we marveled at for a moment there because of its vibrant, stunning fabric. The third thrift store we stopped at is probably the closest thing you can get to a Goodwill in France. It was very tidy, very inexpensive compared to the other shops we stopped at so far, and also a whole lot bigger. This one definitely didn't have all of the vintage gems we were seeing before, but if you dig deep, you can definitely find more unparalleled antique pieces here. It does require a bit of patience, but that's what you get when you're trying to get a true thrifting experience. And they have shoes. Just trying some shoes on, huh?
Oh yeah.
Did you find something you liked?
I found 3. I like these ones. They're pretty warm inside.
Ooh.
And these 2. These are like kind of standard.
Also, I think this is the only place that I found homeware in, so you best know I got myself a little piece or two. The fourth thrift shop was by far the cheapest one we'd been to, also the most crowded, which makes sense. It definitely had a Goodwill outlet vibe with the every man for himself feeling that ensued as I looked around. And of course, the bins. If you're willing to dig around, you only have to spend a whopping €2 a piece. So if you got the time, check the bins. But for those of us that enjoy maybe a little bit more of a tidy shopping experience, there were also racks to look through as well. The next day, I visited our last vintage shop in Montmartre, which is one that I was recommended by the cafe owner from my meetup. This one was also filled with gorgeous vintage and intricate textiles that any designer could only dream of creating. Fun fact, a lot of designers come to Paris to buy vintage clothes to inspire them for future collections, and I think with this trip, I can definitely see why that's the case. This one's cute, but will I wear it? That's the question. You can literally spend hours looking through everything here. There was just so much beauty lined within the store. But buyers beware, if you're not a smoker, you probably won't enjoy the lack of oxygen in this shop. Our last vintage shop is in Le Montmartre, which is right around the bend from beautiful Notre Dame and the famous Shakespeare & Co. bookstore. This one's called Hilo Shop, and you guessed it, they do sell by the kilo here, so make sure you weigh everything before you buy it, because trust me when I say this place ain't cheap. Minus the benzo, those were dirt cheap. It had the overall feeling of an all-terrain vintage with its concrete floors, plethora of trendy vintage pieces, and it was huge. 2 floors to be exact. So not as cheap as all-terrain, but definitely had that vibe, and I probably would have shopped more, but I honestly couldn't justify the price point for a vintage shop that big. I have to admit, I only got 1 piece from here that day and still left a good 36 euros short. Yeah. Overall, my thrifting experience in Paris was probably just one of the best I've had in my entire life. I loved it so much and I can't wait to go back. I hope you guys get to go too. But now it's time for a good old thrift haul, so grab a cup of tea and enjoy. We're back in my room in good old New Jersey, and I am excited to finally sit down and share with you guys all of the vintage treasures that I brought back with me. I definitely feel so happy that I got to vlog there. But also, every time I wear these clothes, it just takes me back to that thrift store that I went to on that day and the people that I met or what we did. So it's probably the best souvenir that I could have gotten, and I thought I would share with you guys. So yeah, let's get started. I thought I would start off with a couple of homeware pieces that I got because I didn't get that many. Obviously, I didn't really have that much space in my luggage. The first one that I have is this little guy. It's just a ceramic vessel. I'm assuming it used to have a lid at some point, but it doesn't have one anymore, and I just thought it would be perfect to burn some incense in it. I just thought it was really cute. I love the colors that it has on it. It's got this mint green, some polka dots, flowers. It immediately takes me back to Paris every time I wake up in the morning, and this was only €1. Then I also got this one. It kind of reminds me of Western style because of the colors. These plants kind of look like desert plants to me, but as I was talking to one of my subscribers, she said that it reminds them of something that you might find at the south of France, so it was probably made there since I was in France after all. I thought this would be perfect to put in a bunch of little succulents. Now onto the clothes. I wanted to start off with the accessories since that's probably the least of what I have out of all the clothes that I got. First thing is this hat that I have on my head. You guys probably saw it while I was, whoa. Got like really bright for a second there. Yeah, I was just like walking by the store and I saw it from the outside. So I walked in. I've just been seeing the same hat in different boutique stores, but here it's so much more expensive. It's been something that has just been on my mental wish list for a while, so I'm really happy with it. Perfect to kind of neutralize your more colorful outfits since I do wear a lot of very bright clothes. I paid 26 euros for it, which in my opinion isn't too bad. I know somebody commented that I got duped, but you know what? To me, it was a good price. Hats take a lot of effort to make, and yeah, I think it's really cute. Everywhere I was walking, I would see people wearing berets. Young, old, man, woman, almost every single person was in a beret. So I wanted to get into the Paris spirit, and I got myself 3. I only have this one in my hand right now, which is this nice mustardy yellow color. You guys know how much I love this color, but I also got the classic black and red. I used to wear them so much back when I was in college, and I lost them along the way of moving somehow, so I'm very happy to have them back in my wardrobe again. I also got myself a beautiful vintage scarf that I'm really excited about because I feel like every time I look for scarves, I end up finding like really tacky ones at thrift stores. I'm just picking with my patterns, so I was pretty stoked to find this gorgeous vintage print that this one has. This is something that would probably be worn a little bit easier during the summertime, but I thought it would be cute as a little headscarf accessory or something on like third day hair. It was so cold when we were in Paris, so the entire time that I was thrifting, I was just thinking knitwear and outerwear. That's mostly what you're going to be seeing in this haul, but I did get one gift from a subscriber, which is really sweet of her. Just this gingham turtleneck, and it's definitely the lightest thing that I have, but I could obviously still wear this in the winter time, layered up with a cardigan on top or some sort of jacket. It's just amazing how much she knows my style because I'm in love with this thing. It fits me perfectly. I'm just looking at the spandex fabric. It looks like it might be really tight on the body, but actually the sleeves are sort of slightly belled, so they do kind of come off really nicely around the wrist, which I really like. I also love this pink gingham pattern. It's so retro, and I just thought it would be perfect to wear with any sort of high-waisted denim, maybe overalls or something, just kind of give it a cool contrast. And she also told me that this is originally from like a German sustainable brand. I think that's the name of it, but I obviously can't pronounce German. I'm just forever grateful for that experience. It definitely was one of the best meetups that I've ever had because I really had the opportunity to actually talk to you guys and walk around and thrift with y'all and really get to know the people that are subscribed to me. And I'm just really lucky that you guys are so wholesome and amazing, and I love you guys. This sweater has a hole in it and I had no idea, but I am justifying it with the fact that there was cigar smoke literally everywhere, and because the guy was really nice, I wanted to support a shop, so I ended up getting anything that I thought was remotely cute. It's funny because I always preach about checking your clothes, but I was so disoriented. It's just this zippered Fair Out sweater, and I just thought it would be great to wear with some high-waisted jeans, kind of have it really casual. Since I do have a lot of more statement sweaters, you know, I wanted something that was a little bit more like toned down and normal. Unfortunately, it does have that hole, so I'm gonna try to see if I can mend it, but because it has a couple of stains and stuff, I don't know, I'm a little reluctant on it. I'm not gonna tell you guys how much it costs because that's just embarrassing enough that I ended up getting something with stains. And nonetheless, we were saved by the fact that we found this amazing Pierre Cardin sweater, and actually this was one of Roger's finds, but I will be obviously borrowing it. I'll let him wear it first, don't worry. It just looks like this, and it was obviously very much inspired by South American culture because it has these little guys in traditional wear. You can also tell this is a really high quality sweater because it has the exact same pattern detail in the back. When you get in Tarja sweaters, sometimes it'll just have the print at the front and then it'll have like a solid color in the back, which means it took less effort to create that garment. So I was really happy that it had all this beautiful detailing. I love the fit of it. I love how soft it is too. And it was made in Italy, so high quality sweater. Pierre Cardin doesn't get any better than that. Next up, we have this artful sweater that I like to call my Montmartre on fire sweater. Yes, on fire, because if you look closely, you'll see some orange stitches that kind of makes it look like all the houses are on fire. And they do have houses on hills there as well, so it just reminds me of the place that I got it in. It's even like really cloudy and rainy, just like Paris the entire time that we were there. How adorable is it? I don't have anything like this, and I also really like the fact that it has this embroidered detailing to make the hills and these little, I don't even know what the heck this is supposed to be, mushrooms? I'm not gonna lie, I was a little hesitant on it at first. I actually saw it the day before I went to go thrifting with my subscribers at the same thrift store, but I don't know what it was. The second day kind of just like spoke to me on a different level. This next sweater is also just perfect. Look at it. It's more of like a saturated olive green tone, so it's a little bright, but my favorite part about it is obviously the sort of quilted pattern that it has with these stripes, polka dots, florals. It's perfection in a sweater. I remember being in the thrift store that night and just kind of looking around, but seeing this fabric from across the room and jetting straight to it. And I'm glad I did. Sometimes when I do that, I end up getting disappointed, but this was not a disappointment by any means. This is pretty much me in a sweater, guys. I love it. I feel like I said I love it like 3 times, so I'm probably gonna have to edit one of those I love it's out. And then I've got this jacket. I got this one at the Kilo's store, so they sold it by the kilo. And you guys, that place was so freaking expensive. So expensive. It wasn't as expensive as like a woke vintage here in Brooklyn. That's like, well, not here in Brooklyn, but like here close to Brooklyn because I don't live in Brooklyn anymore. It was a little bit rougher around the edges, so it kind of reminded me of El Train Vintage in that way. You still got that vintagey smell in the air. And I only got this jacket in that store. I'm happy with it though. It's really cute. It's got this incredible texture all over it that's sort of fringed. But my favorite part are these sterling silver clasps that it has here. And it's got these lapels, so it kind of has this businessy factor to it, but with some interest because of the fabric. I'm not gonna lie, when I got this, I was a little bit intimidated on how I'd style it, but I think that just wearing some pieces underneath it that are a little bit more subdued, maybe like a t-shirt and some overall. I feel like there's an outfit that I have brewing in my mind, so I still haven't worn this out yet, but I'm still very excited to wear it, and I will. Then I have a piece that's definitely more on the basic level because it doesn't have a lot of interest going on, but I'm equally as excited for this jacket as everything else here because I have been wanting an oversized denim jacket for the longest time. El Train Vintage has been making their denim jackets like $40, which is crazy. El Train Vintage, what the heck? Anyway, this one right here fits me perfectly, and I actually got this at the cheapest thrift store that I went to. All these pieces that I have here, I got at a bunch of different ranges of thrift stores, and the only difference is that I did a little bit of extra effort at like the less curated places. The fact that it's white is really nice because it doesn't have the look of like an entirely denim on denim look. It just adds a nice contrast to my outfit. So I am so happy with this pickup, and it was only 8 euros, guys, which to me isn't that bad considering the fact that I'm going to be wearing it a ton. It's going to go with a lot of my outfits, and I could definitely wear it all year round if I wanted to. As I was in line to check out that jacket, I saw this and I ran out of the line just to get it. Thankfully, one of my subscribers held my spot for me. It's a nice big red puffer jacket, and it's by this brand called Bershka, which is like Zara but just in Europe. I feel like this is one of those pieces that people wouldn't assume that I would like because it's very sporty and it has more of like an edgy contrast to it, but to me this is a really cool contrast to the more vintagey pieces that I have, from my striped turtlenecks to my overalls. I just think it would be a really nice accent to my outfits as well. I have saved my absolute favorite piece for last, and I'm so excited about this piece, you guys. Like, I have worn it a lot, and I've been trying not to show it on social media because it's amazing and I didn't want to spoil it for you guys for this video. So here it is. Ah, look at it. Isn't it amazing? Okay, so it might be a lot for some people, but I've gotten so many compliments wearing this jacket. I was a little hesitant on it, so I asked Roger, like, hey Roger, what do you think about this? And he was like, that's too much. Thankfully, my subscribers were there that day because they all said they were obsessed with it and they told me I had to get it, so I did, and I have no regrets. Y'all are the real ones. It has all these gorgeous colors on it with this pink and green, brown, blue. My favorite part about it is that it has this contrast stitching with this hot pink. It's originally by this brand called United Colors of Benetton. I looked it up and all their jackets are around like $190 to $200, so I love it. I'm in love. And that's it. Those were all my pieces in this magical Paris thrift haul. I really hope y'all enjoyed this video. As always, I love putting these together because it's just really cool to be able to share my excitement for vintage clothes with y'all. And also it's nice to be able to wear these pieces and remember everything that I did while I was in Paris. And to be able to thrift with you guys seriously made this whole thing so much more fun for me. In a comment down below, I would love to know your favorite piece in this haul. I think that's definitely going to be a hard one because I did find some beautiful pieces this time around, and yeah, I'm excited to wear all of them. This goes without saying, but you don't have to have a lot of money to thrift in Paris. You could literally go to a charity shop and find something as beautiful and unique as something that you might find at a curated shop. But that's it. I'm gonna go. I love y'all so much, and I will see you on the next one. Bye!